Hey everybody, Gloria and Rebecca here again from Inland Empire Couples Counseling. We are continuing our series on giving you strategies to help solve common problems that couples face around the holidays. This is number 4 in our series, and today the problem that we are facing is when you and your partner don't agree on gift giving.
It seems like this wouldn't happen, but I promise you it does.
So
Some
common.
some of us probably been there. So yes, the intention of gifts is awesome and great, but it can cause a little bit of tension when we're all like not on the same page. And again, attentions could be really good. Like I just wanted to surprise or do whatever the great good stuff was. And then at the end of the day, it ended up turning into something not so good.
Right. You agreed you're not going to give each other gifts, and then one person gives a gift, and the other one's like, "Hey, what happened?" Or
Exactly.
we we agreed on a budget and you blew through the budget, and maybe I'm upset about that because that's our money, or maybe I'm just upset about that because I feel bad that I didn't match the dollar amount that you spent, or maybe we don't agree on who we should be buying gifts for or how much money
Mhm.
to spend on them. And I think there's all these other places where the gifts become like a stand-in for the relationship, how much we care about that person, what they mean to us. And so then it's not just about the thing, it's about all of the things that that means. And so there's
Mhm.
just a minefield of ways that this can cause a lot of stress for people.
Mhm.
So we've got some different areas to talk about with a few tips. The first is pricey gift solutions.
Yeah, this was kind of interesting, especially like with the kiddos, right? That sometimes kiddos they ask for gifts and they look at you straight in your eyes and they're just like, "Please, it's the only thing I want. I'll be good. I'll be great." And then you see the price on it, you're like, "Oh my gosh, like it's insane!" Like kids these days, the PCs and all these games and things like that, it costs so much money. Now, the intention that could have happened in the past could have been you talk to your partner, you're like, okay, this one's too pricey, but then something pulled at your heartstring because they got good grades and then you ended up pulling
Mhm.
through. But then our partner might have felt like, yo, like I feel like the bad guy now because I'm the one who said no. So some
Right.
things to talk about before. So if we kind of already get inclination, somebody's asking for a big pricey gift and we already see that it is pricey, is to make it a discussion without whoever is asking for it in the room. So, and don't
Mhm.
give them a definitive answer there. You can just say, like, me and your mom need to talk, or me and your dad need to talk, or auntie or whomever need to talk about this before we can get there with you. So, the best, obviously, using like really age appropriate language that we'll see. I
Mhm.
got to talk first. We all want the best for you. So we're just trying to figure things out right now. So making this a conversation without that person in the room is going to be one of the best solutions. And also figuring out the intention behind if your partner doesn't agree. So if you agree, but if your
Mhm.
partner doesn't agree, like, hey, that's too pricey. So coming from a place of understanding and really trying to listen to our partner as to what's going on with the gifts. So we don't know. There's so many different avenues that maybe our little one's birthday is coming up within the next 2 months and they wanted to spend a little bit more money for their birthday or they wanted to do a whole thing. So when we listen with understanding and just with patience and kindness as well to just figure things out, that's when we can hear the bigger picture. We can see the bigger picture and hear what they're really trying to say.
Right. 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 Um, so we can see what those all of those meanings are that are attached to the gift
Mm-hmm.
or to this particular thing. Yeah. And then you can find solutions that let you honor each other and that are, respectful and kind, and that you it doesn't end up being a thing that is a lot of fights or stress for you.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the tips here is setting a budget.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I think last year when I looked up like the average amount of like US spending like on gifts about like $700. It's like been on the rise. And
Is that
so
per
that
person or per family?
like per family. And then
Okay.
so I'm just like, that's still like for
Yeah,
some
that's a
folks
lot
that's
of
like
money.
and it keeps right, it keeps rising. And right, things are a little bit pricier nowadays and everything like that. So this causes for again understanding with our partner like what's the budget this year and really figuring out like what can we do, especially because this typically isn't just like one thing like in the entire year, because obviously the next year's coming up. We got New Year's, we have birthdays, we have everything else that could be coming up too. So setting a budget that everybody agrees upon in before the actual holiday, like shopping, spending, what have you, happens, that's going to be the best bet. And if there is something that's out of price range or out of the budget, that we got to ask our partner first to get consent with this. If there's something, if we're going to stretch the budget just a little bit, or if we're trying to say it's only a little bit, or what have you, we still got to include our partner into it. Because at the end of the day, the gift is supposed to be something fun and awesome, and it shouldn't cause so much strain on people and making it, not so fun anymore.
And those are places where we really see the sense of trust and safety erode in relationships. If we had an agreement that we were only going to spend this much, and then one of us doesn't keep to the agreement. Mm-hmm. Those are things that erode trust in relationships. And it might not seem like a huge deal to say, okay, well, I'm just going to cross that thing off the list. We can't afford it. Or I'm going to purchase a less expensive option. That those kind of acts enhance your relationship, but they do. It shores up the sense of safety and trust in your relationship when you can count on your partner to hold up their side of agreements that you made. And so even things like setting a budget for holiday gifts like impacts all the other parts of your relationship, and whether it's easy to do joint decision making months or years from now.
Exactly.
We can also be creative.
Yes, we can also be creative. Sometimes we got a large family going on. We have like extended family, and I've even felt this too, where it's just like there's just so many kids and so many people. So sometimes our heart kind of feels like you got to buy for everybody, so nobody feels left out. But obviously that puts a big strain on people too. Like how much, I mean, we have our own family budget, and then we have like the extended family, everybody else, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. So some of the creativity can come into like playing games to like make this gift giving a little bit more fun when there's just too many heads. So this could be like putting names in a fishbowl and just drawing out a name. So for each family member, it doesn't have to be for each person, but it could be for like each like family unit that, mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to buy for uncle whoever or auntie whomever. Even there's like white elephants. There's a lot of different things that we can do that can help us just figure out like we don't have to break our budget, and we don't have to make people feel like they're being left out. We can definitely make this a fun thing.
Definitely. And the last tip here was gifts don't have to cost money.
Yes, it kind of goes in with creativity too, where mm-hmm. You said this a little bit earlier, where we kind of like focus too much maybe on the gift, and then we end up kind of losing sight of, well, what's supposed to be like the meaning behind the gift. So we don't always have to like spend or break our bank like in order to make somebody feel happy by giving them something. Oh my gosh, can it be so meaningful when it comes from like the heart, or like a good hearty try, because maybe you want to try like a recipe, or like you want to bake a pie and it's your first time, and that could be a gift to somebody. It can like the effort and just the willingness and the motivation, like I just want to make this a fun thing, can be deeply appreciated. There's even cookie exchanges, and even with little ones, oh my gosh, does your heart probably sing when like your little one ends up making something and it didn't cost them like all this money, but it came from a warm place. And we kind of lose sight of that when we get older and we become adults, and we're just like kind of could be caught up in just the shopping, all that kind of stuff. So the heartfelt, low cost, beautiful items can be deeply appreciated too.
You know, as we're having this conversation, I kind of wish that we had called this love doesn't have to cost money, or relationships don't have to cost money, because that's really what we're talking about, right? And what the holidays are about for so many people is it's connecting with the people that matter to you, and sometimes the gift is a symbol for that, and you shouldn't have to pay to get to have the relationship, right? So that love, that human connection, nurturing your relationships doesn't have to cost money. It can be these things that come from the heart, that come from this creativity, and maybe the gift is time. And like, that's okay too, if you're really clear about what this means, like what the meaning is that's attached for you, and it's something that works for you and your partner.
Exactly.
If you want to see any other videos in this series, you can head over to our website at iecouplescounseling.com. You can also learn more about our therapists and get an appointment set up to work with one of our couples therapists if you'd like us to help you with your relationship. Thanks and happy holidays.